rival, beating the Steelers 13-10. Now, this was a hell of a game. This was a hell of a game yesterday. This was all about defense yesterday. DTR came in, and you know what? He struggled. Let's keep it real. There was nothing to write home about that situation, but when it came to that final drive, the guy looked like he was in the league for the last decade. Okay, he went 24 for 43 yesterday, 165 yards through the air, and he had a sack. He got sacked, and he had an interception. When you look at the QBR, 54.9. How do you win this game? Well, your defense played even better. What they did was they held Kenny Pickett to 15-28. He had 106 yards, 62.5 QBR, but he was sacked 3 times in the process as well, too. So that was worked out very well for the Browns. But yesterday, though, it was a very back and forth situation. It was a tale of two halves. Let's keep it real. The Browns had scored the first 10 points of the game. Then the Steelers scored the next 10 points of the game. And then it came down to final possession. The Browns got the Steelers off the field, and the Steelers gave up a field goal. It's that simple on how this game pretty much ended. And when you look at the final stats, the Browns outgained them 259-249. They had 63 yards through the air. They only allowed 77. Now, when it comes down to the Steelers had a big moment from their rookie running back, Jaylen Warren, a guy who is really coming of age right now. He had himself a 74-yard run. He was able to get 129 yards on 9 carries yesterday, and he was able to be a real issue for the Browns. He became an absolute problem for them, and he had 16 yards on in the air as well, too, catching the ball. So all in all, the guy had 145 yards in total of this team's 249 total yards. That was an absolute hell of a performance from him. And, you know, they got some good effort from TJ Watt, who got the 1 sack yesterday. But Myles Garrett, once again, was just the linchpin for this Cleveland defense. He had 2 sacks yesterday. Then he was able to get some love from the rest of the front seven, who kept things very honest with the Steelers. And then the defensive backfield probably had their best performance of the season. Those guys absolutely played rock solid and were absolute bulletproof yesterday. They really did not let anything get past them. They only gave him 77 yards, and they kept Greg Pickens on the ground pretty much, because Greg Pickens was a guy that destroyed them in the first game of the season. Greg Pickens only had 4 catches for 38 yards in this one. Longest was 14. So the Browns had a great effort. The Browns find themselves as the top wild card team as well, too. They're only a game outside of first place as well. They do have a tie with the Ravens. They do have a tie with the Steelers, and they can go ahead and try to make it to where they can sweep the Bengals in a few weeks to then go 4-2. But right now they will be a 500 team for their division for the season. They're 3-2 at this point, and you guys know they only got one more game left to go. So if they were to win that, they would finish 4-2 for the season in the division. But you know, this would be something that's very critical, but the Browns are in the driver's seat right now. They have one of the best records in the AFC right now, and they look to be one of the best teams in the AFC when it's all said and done. We know it's going to be tough because DTR is a rookie, and you know what? It's a one game at a time evaluation for him. And, you know, last week, by him being able to have that final drive, that's going to be able to get him to start here in Denver next week. We'll have more to talk about when it comes down to that game on NFL Bet Exchange tomorrow. So you guys make sure to tune in for that. That starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time. But once again, great win for the Browns, and the Browns find themselves in key position to be in the playoffs, but they got to sustain. It's still uphill battle for the Browns as they move forward. All right, so we move forward, and we got the Dolphins, who survived the Raiders in South Beach, winning that game